create a button like this, create your component up here, go in and hit the plus sign for variant. It duplicates it. The variant's here. And so you select one variant, you click on one rectangle, and you could change that fill color. So that's like maybe your hover state, maybe change the text in one. But what a variant basically does was when you click the plus sign, it just does like a copy paste, but it keeps everything within the component. But the key to remember when you make these is you actually have to go in and change the variant information. So if you double click on that layer, that name is actually like a variable. So property 1 equals variant 2. But that can be, so you can change it. You can say button equals on, or actually I'm gonna say button equals off, and button equals on. So now and then maybe even change the component name. You can call this button. So now when I go into assets, that's where all the components appear. And so I have one called button. So if I drag this out, I have a button, and then you can drag that out throughout your app. You create the component once, and then you can drag it out everywhere. And so I have the states. So I have the on state, and then I have the off state. So off, actually, and I might have, so I have button on. Oh, and I had to change this one too. So this one, for some reason, I didn't change. So button off, and then button equals on. So now when I go back here, it's updated. Oh, that's interesting. It looks like if I type on and off, it creates a little toggle for me, which is pretty cool, actually. So I got the two states, and then if I want to create the interactivity for this, option drag one out, change the state, put a frame around the main button. So this is like in the app itself. And then for this button here, there's an actual command that will, I think, you go to object, you can say frame selection. And that's probably the best way to do it. If you do a frame selection command, it puts the frame on there perfectly. So that's key. Having things being aligned by hitting shift and having that frame be perfect. And then when I go into the prototype section again, I can go to this button, drag it out, do an on click. But instead of navigating, you want to do a swap overlay. Make sure you have the right frame set, have it set to instance. And then when I click on that flow, it's going to update. And actually, I think I should have did maybe open overlay. Oh, I know what I forgot. And the one thing you want to make sure you actually do as well is when you go into this swap overlay, there should be I think you want to do open overlay and actually say manual. And then that way it's going to be perfectly aligned on top, and it's going to be within the proper frame. So now when I do this, it works. And then to do the opposite, where you go back, I would click on button here, drag it out to button 2, or I can just drag it to the frame and then say on click, close overlay. So it should close click. So it's like a little toggle.